Hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to the channel. Well, this week I've got a bit of a Star Trek news roundup for you today. So we're going to have a bit of a chat about what's come out recently in the news about Lower Decks. We've got some news to report on Star Trek Discovery Season 3. We've also got some more information about Strange New Worlds, as well as some new info on Season 2 of Star Trek Picard, and a brand new Star Trek series that we're only just starting to hear some new information about. So let's get into this week's Trek News Roundup. So in a recent interview with comicbook.com, Mike McMahon, who's the executive producer of Lower Decks, came out to say that the Lower Decks episodes will definitely feel like Star Trek episodes, just a shortened version of them. So rather than your usual sort of 45-minute running time, these episodes have a 22-minute running time in a standalone episode where you've got your A story and your B story trundling along with different characters that would happen within the same episode. This would just be the A story. So hence a 22-minute running time and just focusing on one story element rather than two, which might happen in a normal series that has standalone episodes. Mike McMahon also went on to say that he and his team are busy working on Season 2 of all things. So it would seem like Lower Decks has a second season before Season 1 has even aired, or we don't even know when it's going to be on, but it's got a second season. So I guess that's a good thing. Obviously the series was going to be more comedic based. Things have been delayed due to the pandemic, but we are still on track for a 2020 release of Lower Decks, and that working on an animated show actually has been a bit of a benefit during the pandemic because they've been able to kind of go through and work on it and so forth remotely, and they don't require actors in a studio or on location or whatever because it's all animated. So all they need is actors in front of a microphone, I guess, to record dialogue, and animators in front of their computers to do the work. So they're working on Season 2. Season 1 must be done, surely, because you wouldn't start on Season 2 unless you'd finished Season 1. So I would like to think we're going to find out fairly soon when Lower Decks is going to hit our TV screens. Apparently, there's been a little bit of news circulating recently that there's this new Star Trek show supposedly called Star Trek Prodigy, which is set to air on Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon has apparently been looking for talented people to work on this new show. Apparently the studio needs production crew and so forth, which they've advertised for. And as rumours would have it, that this show, Star Trek Prodigy, is going to be a CG animated Star Trek series. So maybe something along the lines of, say, Star Wars The Clone Wars, or Star Wars Rebels, perhaps. So this Star Trek Prodigy show, it sounds a lot like, you guys might remember a Deep Space Nine episode called Valiant, where there was a group of the Starfleet Academy cadets on board a Defiant class ship called the Valiant, and they were attacked by the Dominion or the Cardassians or somewhere, and the command crew were all killed. And these cadets had to kind of take over the ship, and they were flying around trying to take out Dominion. This show, Prodigy, kind of sounds like it might be something a bit similar, because the show has been described as a show that will focus on a group of lawless teens who discover a derelict Starfleet ship, and they use it to kind of search for adventure. So it kind of sounds like a bunch of older teenagers or young adults perhaps that are a bit wayward, have got themselves hold of a Starfleet ship, and they're basically taking it for a joyride around the galaxy. So it could be interesting. The fact that it's CG animated, I think, will be good. Dave Filoni has had great success with the Clone Wars series, which I love. That was a great show, as was Rebels. So I guess if the right people are behind the show, then it can certainly be very successful. And interesting to note that this show will air on Nickelodeon. It won't be on CBS All Access, so people won't have to pay for the streaming service to get it, which I guess is a good thing. On to some Strange New Worlds news today. In an interview recently, Jonathan Frakes talks to Sci-Fi Wire, where he said he was really looking forward to directing episodes of Strange New Worlds with Anson Mount, Ethan Peck, Rebecca Romaine, that he will certainly be directing at least one, if not more episodes of that show. Strange New Worlds is going to be filmed in Toronto, which is where they filmed Discovery, and it would seem like with restrictions on social distancing and so forth maybe starting to ease over the next month or so, that the shows might be back in production. I know that Jerry Ryan commented recently during a at-home kind of Voyager reunion Zoom hookup that she said that they'd been delayed a little bit because they were meant to be going back to shooting season 2 of Picard in, I think, July or maybe August, but that was being pushed forward to maybe sort of more like September. So it looks like at this stage that delays on filming for Picard Season 2 and other shows as well may have only been delayed by maybe a couple of months with any luck. Hopefully they'll be back in studio in a few months' time, and they'll only be like a couple of months behind in the whole production process there, which means hopefully we don't have to wait too much longer for new Star Trek content. Some new fan sets pins came out for Discovery Season 3 recently, which showed Burnham with the braids that she's got going on for Season 3, which is a slightly new look for her. I think she changes her hair in every season, more than once it would seem, going by the previous trailer. It also appears that Burnham is in a gold Starfleet uniform now. So I think last season she had the Science Division emblem on her Starfleet logo on her uniform, and she had the silver uniform. This season she appears to be in gold and have the command insignia on her uniform. So does this mean she's kind of stepping up and, taking over the Discovery, or Saru is the new captain, or whether Burnham's going to be the new captain of Discovery since Pike has left us and gone to his own show, which is obviously a good thing. There's also an interview recently with Jason Isaacs, who said he would be very happy to return to Discovery to play Lorca, Prime Universe Lorca, because obviously the Lorca that was killed in Season 1 was the Mirror Universe Lorca. He said he would be very, very happy and eager to come back to play Lorca in the Prime Universe. So I wondered, does this mean Lorca in Prime Universe isn't like a douchebag? And it'd be interesting to see how differently he plays the role. But considering the Discovery is 900 years in the future, I don't necessarily see that happening anytime soon, unless of course he was going to return in an episode of Strange New Worlds. Maybe the crew of the Enterprise could find what he's been doing while his Mirror Universe counterpart's been wreaking havoc in Season 1 of Discovery. So I'm checking all my sources very regularly to try to establish if we're getting any news at all about air dates and that sort of thing, and they're still keeping us a bit in the dark. Last I heard, the music score had been done for Discovery Season 3. That was what was delaying the production. They couldn't get all the orchestra into the one place due to social distancing rules, but it would appear now they've done that remotely, with each musician recording their bit independently, sending it through, and then they're putting it all together in the mix and doing the whole music score that way. So it's taking a little bit longer than if they just recorded the score in the studio to begin with, but at least things are moving forward, and hopefully it won't be too long before we have an announcement as to when we might be seeing Season 3 of Discovery. So I've got some cool Star Trek t-shirt and merch designs I've recently just put up in my merch store. Check out these new t-shirts that kind of showcase the ships and the crews. Some good designs there I'm quite pleased with. And as soon as we hear any new Star Trek news, I will be onto it and bring it to you promptly as it comes to hand. In the meantime, guys, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and I look forward to seeing you again on my next video.